Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
All right, hello and welcome to another Tuesday edition of C2C Rank'em. I am the host, Big B, along with my co-host halfway across the world, the Prime Oos, Tim Hendricks. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Exciting week. Two national holidays. One on Thursday, and then for all of us wrestling fans, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those where, baseball starts up and, you got WrestleMania, you got, especially here in the States, spring is right here. So we got one of our funnest lists to do. Every couple of weeks we do birthdays for a certain day in the month. So, of course, we're going to do March. We're going to finish up March, and we're also going to do some people that have passed. So it's going to be always interesting because, you look at these lists, it's like, okay, you got hundreds of people that were born on these days. It'll be interesting to see what kind of list we come up with, how many we hit nail on the head. Some of them are obvious, just where we're going to rank them. So let's start. Let's turn back the clock to March 6th. So you're number 5.
March 6th. I remember growing up as a kid, much like you and I are only a couple of years apart in age. And we always, when we were growing up, it was always a treat to stay up late. And it meant you were a good kid, but we were young enough to where sometimes that always didn't work out, but you always got a chance. Always wanted to see what everybody was talking about with the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And I love Johnny Carson. To me, it was always something interesting to see. But it's not Johnny Carson's birthday. March 6th isn't Johnny Carson's birthday, and if anybody,
you had me worried a little bit. I thought maybe I might have missed something.
No, you didn't miss. You don't miss anything. I may have missed something, but who knows? But the guy that always called Johnny onto the stage, and the guy that sat next to Johnny on the couch on late night, the guy who basically was the master of late night, Johnny Carson. And for anybody who knew him later in life, he had the Publisher Clearinghouse guy who tried to sell you, try to make you win all this money. And as we can hear, Brandon now knows he missed Ed McMahon.
Yeah, I did. I missed Ed McMahon. My number 5. We're kind of open with the national holiday of WrestleMania. Born just a few hours away in Wisconsin. If he did have his troubles with WWE at a certain storyline involving Vince McMahon, I would have loved to see how this storyline of Mr. McMahon's illegitimate child would have turned out, and that would have been Ken Anderson. So he actually's got a wrestling school here in Minnesota. So yeah, Ken Anderson.
I saw that name. I'm going, I'm pretty sure we're okay with that one. Matter of fact, I may be wrong, but this guy might be in the. I may be wrong, but I've got my fact checker in Big B to tell me if I'm wrong or not.
All right.
He was married to Roseanne Barr. I'm not sure if he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. Yeah, I can't remember. I might be wrong. More likely I am, but I thought he was. But he played He was on the Roseanne Barr show. He was on Roseanne. He did a lot of movies with with DMX. He did True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis, and that's Tom Arnold.
Wow, I missed that one too. I missed that one.
I'm not sure if he is on in the Wrestling Hall of Fame.
I don't believe so. Nothing. The few times he was on there, it doesn't stick out to me. But no, him and Roseanne, when they were married, they lived here in Minnesota for a split minute. So for me, number 4, multi-time All-Star, I think 2-time World Series winner.
You went down.
Bring up Pittsburgh. He's one of the names that the older generation, our parents, would throw out there. And that's Willie Stargell. That's my number 4. So you're number 3.
You brought up baseball with Willie Stargell. This man was part of a comedy duo that really everybody. If you knew baseball and you heard about this comedy duo, you know exactly the line. And when you every time, and they great comedy duo from the 40s and the 50s. It's absolutely amazing work. I'm not real sure if they have an Oscar, which kind of links back to our show last week. But when you hear who's on first, you kind of know where it's going, and you always think of Abbott and Costello. It was Lou Costello's birthday.
Yep. Yeah, I like that pick. My number 3, from day one in the NBA, he tore up the basket, tore down backboards. He dabbed a little bit in music. He's done some acting. And right now he's on co-host of I think it's NBA Live. He's registered as a sheriff, I think, down in wherever he's living at. When they go to foul in important games, they used to call it Hack-a-Shack. So, because he couldn't shoot free throws. So, Shaquille O'Neal, born on March 6th. So, you're number 2.
Again, we played this game last week. You picked my pick, one pick before. I keep remembering Shaquille O'Neal, the guy who should have been on the dream team, not Christian Laettner.
Yes. I would have took that over Christian Laettner.
Just to see that, every time I think of Shaquille O'Neal, not the fact is that he owns Papa John stuff, or his Shazam movie or his Steel movie. I always remember, it's from a movie, and it's a line from Basketball, and they always make the comment, "Where did Shaquille O'Neal make all of his money?" And the joke was always in the NBA.
College.
No, in college.
Yeah.
But there's a viral video of Shaquille O'Neal, and you brought up the fact is he's deputized. I think he's deputized in Louisiana. I'm not sure.
Yeah, somewhere around there, yeah.
But there's a video that goes out where there's some kids in the neighborhood in Gainesville, Florida, and they're playing basketball, and he comes rolling by. The police officer comes rolling by, and police officer comes rolling by, and he goes, "Well, I can bring somebody. You guys playing tomorrow?" And they're like, "Yeah, we can play tomorrow."
That one, yep.
And they come out, and Shaquille O'Neal sitting in the car and comes out and plays in Gainesville. And I've been to that street. But yeah, that's just Shaquille O'Neal. That's Shaquille O'Neal to a T.
And the thing is, one with Shaquille O'Neal, a lot of things are coming out in interviews and stuff. Yes, he's popular. Yes, he's rich. Yes, he can buy whatever he wants. But he has said that most of his shopping comes from Walmart.
Right. And he said it on James Corden, where he makes the comment that I have the world record for the largest purchase ever in Walmart.
Yep. And he had a shoe deal.
Kmart.
No. I think it was through Nike or something. And a mom came up to him and goes, "How do you expect kids us parents afford these shoes for our kids. And it kind of dawned on him, and he struck a deal with Walmart to have the
Right.
shoe at Walmart. So
Yeah.
No. We're at number 2. You had Shaq. We're gonna flip flop. I had Luis Costello. Like you said, there's the Who's On First, and then there was one math one that always sticks out to me that they have to pay rent, and they go into 7 times 28 is this or something, and but Who's On First? Everybody tries to do it. Nobody can duplicate it.
No.
So you're number 1.
I live in the country where this man is famous. I have been blessed enough to see some of his work, and this was the first name. The moment I saw the list, and I go chronological order from the longest time back to this.
Yep.
This was the second name on the list.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, this is not everything. Basically, you're basically just going 1, and then you pick out.
Yep.
And I've seen, like I said, I've seen work, and I am this guy. I am this guy who likes to go to museums and try to touch paintings, or any type of artistic work. The screensaver on my phone. Matter of fact, I did a live from the museum where I wanted to touch the statue of David.
Yep.
I've seen enough stuff. I still have not touched a Michelangelo, but I'm if it means I'm going to get deported from this country, I will touch it. I will touch a Michelangelo, and it's Michelangelo's birthday on the 6th.
Yeah, and we're not talking the Turtles, just in case somebody's watching. But yes, Michelangelo is my number 1. First name that popped up is like, I don't care who else is born, and I'm not one to be an artist. I mean, yes, I could definitely enjoy, somebody's artistic ability, but I can't do it. But yeah, Michelangelo is definitely one that was on my list. So at number 1. So let's move to the 11th. I think this one was pretty tough for me to come up with the list, so it'll be interesting. So you're number 5.
This one was tough. But when I saw this name, it almost became number 1. I don't know why, because I didn't realize how weak this list was going to be. Growing up, you and I, if you ever turned on PBS, and we've got grandparents that I don't know if your grandparents watched, there was always this guy on PBS that played polka. Always played polka. Like, I don't really want to, and I hated it when I went to my grandparents when I was 5 or 6 or 7 years old, because he was still alive at the time. And this is this Polish American, and it's scary because I sit there and I look at it, and I go, and then all of a sudden it just became a running joke on Saturday Night Live, and that's Lawrence Welk. You didn't watch Lawrence Welk?
No.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Yeah. So my number 5, I think he's getting his name now he got his name in the TV show. I can't think of it now. And I watched a little bit of it, but I've seen him in his younger films. I think he played in oh God, now I'm losing it. But
I missed
actor Terrence Howard.
I missed an act. No, I saw that one.
Yeah, Terrence Howard. Great, phenomenal actor. I wish I could think of the TV show. It was had to do with movies and God.
Oh, he was on Empire.
Empire, that's what it was. Yes, Empire.
Yeah, I didn't watch Empire, but
I watched a few episodes. Didn't really care for it, but I do like his acting skills. So.
Hustle and Flow. Iron Man 1.
I want to say he played one of the Jackson 5s in the Michael Jackson movie, but I could be wrong.
At this point, he probably played Joe.
Yeah. No.
He didn't play the old man?
No. I could be wrong on that. I know he played What did a movie I like? I can't think of it right now. So you're number 4.
Okay. If I'm going to ask you a question, Brandon,
All right.
if you could name me the most annoying song from the 90s.
Umbop?
No. But it's just like, and then it became like this saying, and it just became annoying. And then it was always like, and then everybody's like, you hear every time you hear somebody say, "Don't worry," what was the next thing that ever came out of their mouth?
Be
in the
happy.
90s? Be happy, right? So, because of Bobby McFerrin, to me, the most annoying song of the 90s, which was, I believe, in the early 90s, was Bobby McFerrin's Don't Worry, Be Happy.
He was born on March 11th. I missed that one.
That's okay. His dad was born on March 19th.
Wow. I actually like Don't Worry, Be Happy. I think that was kind of a catchy tune. Yes, it got annoying after a while, but
got annoying a lot of while.
a lot of while. But all right, so my number 3,
4.
4. Yeah, you're right. 4. God, is Latoya Lockhart.
Who?
Lockett. I'm sorry.
Who?
Yeah, let me pull her up because I don't want to give her credit for something.
Oh, give her credit. I gave Tom Arnold credit for being in the WWE Hall of Fame.
American Singer. That's who she is. She's part of Destiny's Child. That's who it is.
She's the one nobody remembers.
Yeah.
One of the 5.
I didn't want to say she was an actress. I knew she was either, actress or singer, but I just want to give her the right credit. So yeah, she's Destiny's Child singer. You're number 3.
One of the richest men in the world owns Fox TV and the New York Post. Little everybody knows that I think my family here has a Deadpool, and nobody knows what the Deadpool is. I think most people do. List on who's going to die within the year.
Yep.
This man is 90 years old. I think he's worth somewhere in the billions range. He's in the top 1% of everybody. And that's Rupert Murdoch.
Okay.
This was a Slim Pickens. This was a Slim Pickens birthday.
No, it was. But those Deadpools used to be popular. I didn't know they were still kind of around because the gist of it is you want to pick younger, but you want to pick people that are up there because you get the points are based on the year
how much they it's they're dying the year they die compared to their age, and then you subtract and then you get the points for the age difference.
Yeah, that's what it was, age difference. Yeah. All right, so mine I got to write. I made some notes here because I moved some people around. So we're at number 3. All right, one of the dumbest people groups, but one of the funniest people too at the same time. Speaking of WrestleMania, I think it was last year, or the year before, he showed up with his little potsy and had a match with was it Sami Zayn? That's Johnny Knoxville.
Okay, I had to think about that for a second. Yeah, it was Sami Zayn.
Yeah, they brought out the big mouse trap. They brought Wee Man out. They brought the big hand.
Did you ever write down Sammy's phone number?
No, I didn't.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I texted him. He does this. He never answers.
Well, at least it was a legit phone number.
Yeah, it was.
So, all right, you're number 2. We're at.
This is Slim Pickens again.
Yep.
It's weird. I picked the Supreme Court Justice, the 105th Supreme Court Justice. Again, I'm not going to give him credit for something that he didn't do. I think he may have died though. That might be the credit that he might not be due. I think he might still be sitting, but I'm not sure. And that's Antonin Scalia.
Okay. All right. My number 2, one of the first women to become head coach in NBA for a game, because I think she substituted for Popovich while he was on a leave or something.
Mhm.
Became head coach of the WNBA Las Vegas Aces.
Now owned by
who-
Tom Brady.
Yeah, who now by Tom Brady.
While Isaiah was there.
I was going to say, and speaking of Isaiah, who claimed that she was the new coach of the LA Raiders, Becky Hammond. Definitely, I think if it wasn't for her going to Vegas, she'd probably be getting a coaching job
In the NBA.
in the NBA this year. So
The
Becky
LA
Hammond,
Oh my
born
gosh.
March 11th. Number 1, I'm kind of curious. We have not hit one yet this time. So
I think we might have hit this one.
okay.
I can honestly say so far of all the 9 preceding before this, I have never seen. I've seen some works. I haven't seen anybody else. But I was lucky enough to cross something off my dad's bucket list while he was still around. My dad always had this thing he always wanted to go to a Final Four.
Ooh.
Instead, we got him to go. We got him tickets to go see the national championship game in New Orleans between Kansas and Kentucky. This man didn't have a great first half scoring wise, but he had a pretty decent. I think he had like 9 rebounds before halftime for Kentucky. They won the national championship. Is one of the loudest pops I've ever heard anywhere. And it was interesting. And to sit, matter of fact, I have to take that back. Because of this game, I got a chance to see Kenny Smith, Charles Barkley, the aforementioned Shaquille O'Neal, because they all did the NBA stuff for TBS, and the Final Four and the national championship game was being done by TBS. Or they were doing by CBS, and TBS has that stuff because they were both owned by Viacom. And I saw the unibrow play, and that's Anthony Davis.
I saw that name, and no, he's not on my list.
My brother's watching. Woo! Woo!
Hey, Ryan Hendricks, how's it going, buddy? God, yeah, he's watching. My number 1, we're going to turn back the time a little bit to this actor known for being one of the Three Stooges. I'm trying to think. I actually know he's associated with the. No, he was one of the.
He was on the. If it's the one I'm thinking of, he was on the show.
Yeah, Shrep Howard. Definitely had to have him as my number 1.
I think he was related to Mo.
Possibly. So, yeah. No, he was not a stooge. He was part of the show, though. But
right.
Saw the tagline. I was like, I had to put him in there because I watched the Stooges on reruns and stuff. So,
we did. We're not old enough to watch them when they first came
exactly. Out. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's move into the 19th, March 11th. We didn't have nobody the same. March 19th, I think we're gonna have at least 2.
We worked hard for that. We worked hard for that.
It's always fun to nail them, but it's also fun not to nail them. So,
right.
I say we got 2 on March 19th. So
I think we've got 3, if not 4.
4 I'll be pushing it. 3 I'll go. I say 2.
Oh, are we gonna pull a Tony Gwynn? That's the thing. I'm gonna start thinking you're gonna pull a Tony Gwynn.
Ooh, calling it out. All right, number 5.
Calling you out right now.
Number 5.
All right, my number 5, as my brother can attest to, the aforementioned Marine that's in our comments. My dad was a big, huge James Bond fan. To this day, I watch them with great pleasure, with a tear in my eye, as they say. But darn it, they have the first Bond girl was born on March 19th, and then she was in Doctor No, and that's Ursula Andress.
Okay.
Not on your list. I
No,
almost bet that.
honestly, I gotta say I'm not a big. I mean, I can watch some of them, but I'm just not. I think Bond has kind of drove his course, but they still keep making them. So,
I'll keep
my
watching.
number 5 kind of last minute add on because really I couldn't find nobody else that stuck out to me. Not a big household name unless you kind of watch Impact Wrestling. But I think once he gets there, I think he'll be a big household name. And Matt Sydal, Sydal, a
That's
young
Seidel.
wrestler coming up.
I didn't even see Seidel's name on there.
Yeah. All right, number 4.
Again, my dad. This received for some reason. This kind of hits right in some weird
I was
spots.
gonna say, yeah.
My dad's a Packer fan. My number 4 was at one point the tight ends coach in Green Bay. He was also the quarterbacks coach before Steve Mariucci. So he coached Mikowski. I believe for a brief period he coached a brief period. I think he coached Brett Favre.
Yep.
Then he went to Philadelphia to become a head coach. If I'm not mistaken, no, he didn't win the Super Bowl there, but he went to the Super Bowl there. Boy, the smoke's coming out of your ears. You're really
I know. I'm trying to think. Did he win the Super Bowl in Philly?
No, I think the only person that's ever won a Super Bowl in Philly is
Yeah.
Get it. I'm not a fan. I'm not a Philly fan, so I don't care.
Yeah, I know.
But he's won a couple in Kansas City.
Yep.
And again, only a couple of these I've met. Andy Reid I have met. My brother has met Andy Reid in Green Bay. And that's, Andy Reid.
Okay.
We were at a just a precursor before Ryan goes, when did I meet him? Because he will. We were at a clinic for high school football players.
Okay.
And we had gone, and Green Bay had the Packers had brought it out to the to everybody who had was playing high school football, and they brought them in and invite them in so they could learn from different things, from different football players, and but yeah, that's where we met him. We met a lot. I met Steve Mariucci. I met enough Packer coaches. I caught a football from Don Mikowski. I've met Mike Holmgren, Lindy Infante. But Andy Reid was one to me I thought was always stuck out.
I'd say that he does remember, so
which is weird because he doesn't remember a lot of things.
So my number 4, sticking to the football theme, when he was drafted, he was supposed to be the next big thing. Turned out to be the next big dud. The 2 teams that stuck out that I know he played for was the Bears in Seattle.
Rick Meyer.
Rick Meyer. Rick Meyer.
I'm like, he was in Green Bay for a smidge too.
I was going to say, I thought he was in the Green Bay for a smidge.
He was in Green Bay on the practice squad. He was only there for preseason.
Yeah. So you're number 3.
This is where I think we make it 3.
Okay.
Obviously, you didn't get 4. To me, one of the greatest action stars in history.
Okay.
Just came out that he's really, really sick. Going through some tough times. Which is cool. No, it's not cool. But when you see the name Bruce Willis, you think of Die Hard, you think of Fifth Element, you think of everything, and to see what he's going through, kind of, our generation, it kind of breaks our hearts because he's one of the people that we grew up watching. So, I wish him the best.
Okay.
Bruce.
Yeah, my number 3. You set him at number 4. Andy Reid. I mean, what more can we say about that guy? You're number 2.
My number 2. I know has won an Oscar.
Okay.
I think I had her on my list last week. I could be wrong.
I don't think we mentioned her. If it's the same person I have.
Yep, it's the same person you have.
All right.
And to find out that she wanted to be in a Steven Spielberg movie so bad that she dressed up as a guy on Hook. And everybody remembers her for Fatal Attraction, everything that she does. And to me, I think she's one of those that, again, I think you and I say it a lot. Everything that she touches is gold.
Yep.
And it's absolutely true. And that's Glenn Close.
Okay. Yeah, that's my number 2. I definitely got her at number 2. So you're number 1.
Kurt Russell. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
No, but this guy had played my number 1. Oh, you don't have him?
Oh, let's see.
Okay, cool. You know, I watched Tombstone. I love Tombstone. Tombstone's an amazing movie. Kevin Costner has played this man. Kurt Russell has played this man. Honestly, Kurt Russell is better than Kevin Costner when he plays this man. I can't remember. I'll be honest. I don't remember if this man dies at the OK Corral. I really don't. But he's dead because this is long ago.
Yeah.
And that's Wyatt Earp.
No, I don't have him on my list. Because my number 1 is your number 3.
Oh, okay.
I got Bruce Willis. Yeah.
Wyatt Earp.
When I said 2, I didn't know if you were going to have Glenn Close on there. I figured you have Reed and Bruce Willis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, but we did good. We got 3.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the 25th. I'll throw it out right now that I'll be shocked if we don't hit all 4 for sure.
Yeah, because I'm not sure.
There's a lot of big names out there.
This could be
Our
tough.
top 2 better be the same. Not in order, but.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking they are. It's just weird.
Yeah. All right, let's go with number 5.
My dad.
We're going to call this the dad episode.
It's going to sound like it. My dad was a big boxing fan. My dad liked his brother better than he liked him, but he was still the 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. He held a belt at the same time as his brother Vitaly. To me, I think to be honest, I think he's better than his brother. I've always thought he's better than his brother, and that's Vladimir Klitschko.
Ooh, good one. I like that. I did see the name. Now that you talk about things, it's like, okay, that triggered. I
think Vladimir was a doctor before he became a boxer. Doesn't make sense.
So my number 5, I don't think she was part of the inaugural season of the WNBA, but she's definitely put her name on the list of people to grow that sport. Cheryl Swoops.
I can't remember if she was part of the original.
Yeah, I don't think so. If not, she was definitely within the first 5 years. But yeah, Swoops.
I didn't even see that one.
Gold medalist, WNBA.
Oh yeah.
So you're number 4.
My number 4. Wow. No. I was gonna say it, but I realized no. Probably the number 3 best pitcher in the best pitching staff of all time. To me, I think if he's not on the staff, I don't think the Atlanta Braves win as many AL titles as they did. Yeah, granted, they've got at the time they had Greg Maddux and John Smoltz, both guys who were walking Cy Young Award winner nominees every year.
Yep.
I think if this guy or Steve Avery were on any other staff, I think they would have two. And that's Tom Glavine. Tom Glavine to me is one of those underrated, underappreciated pitchers on that staff. What he did, and he learned a lot from John Smoltz. He learned a lot from Greg Maddux, and Bobby Cox did a lot again with Tom Glavine. And you don't have the Atlanta Braves, I don't think, unless you have Glavine at the 3 spot.
Oh, I like that pick. My number 4 actress. This is probably the list this list is probably the one I had the most females ever on. Actress, many TV shows, many movies. Sarah Jessica Parker. On my number 4. So you're number 3.
My number 3. The man was the voice of Monday Night Football back in the late 70s, early 80s. Him and Danny Don Meredith were you got your normal stuff on CBS and NBC at the time, but everybody wanted so much to stay awake for Monday Night Football because it was the game, it was the Showtime game. This man, he became best friends with Muhammad Ali, and the interviews these two had were epic. They were as if you were watching two best friends just sit there having a cup of coffee, having a conversation. The one thing I remember about this man was that he was given the unceremoniously terrible privilege to announce that John Lennon had been killed during a Monday Night Football game. And the worst thing was the Jets were trying to come back in that game, and he's calling this over the thing, and he says, "I'm just breaking in. I'm gonna announce it. It's big enough that it needed to be done." But that's Howard Cosell.
Yeah, and he's not wrong on that. So, my number 3 is your number 4. Like you said, any other team, he's the ace. He's Cy Young candidate. And even in the 90s with Smoltz and Avery and
Maddux,
that's the other one I was thinking of. He was still in the conversation for Cy Young because, those
Can
top
you remember
3,
their 5th pitcher?
What's that?
Can you remember their 5th pitcher?
God, they had so many. It was.
I always remember Mark Bowlers.
There's a couple they clump in there. I actually have the mistake card of him and John Smoltz. Daughters 89, I think it is.
Yeah.
Where it's Glavine with John Smoltz's stats on the back, and then I also have the card with John Smoltz's card on the.
It did
not worth nothing, but I have it.
there was a weird
my number
thing.
3 is Tom Glavine.
There was a weird thing, and this has nothing to do with Glavine. There's always a story going around in Iron Mountain, and I think my brother is old enough. To remember this. That the Michigan World Series for the Michigan Little League World Series was in Kingsford. Was at Lodall Field.
I remember you told me this.
And the 2 starting pitchers for each of the Michigan teams was John Smoltz and Steve Avery.
Yep.
And then they turn around and get drafted by the Braves. Actually, Smoltz got drafted by the Tigers, got traded to the Braves, and then they were on the same rotation.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
See,
I remember.
Right
Yep,
there.
Yep. Yeah, he's right there. He's still watching. So we're at number 2.
Yep.
You're number 2.
Okay. All right. Let's see how.
I think we're flip flop. If we don't have the number 2, I'm going to be a little disappointed.
I enjoy this guy singing. This guy has an amazing voice. He's one of the greats of all time. The stuff he ended up doing with Eminem later was fantastic.
Yeah, what a combo.
Matter of fact, I think one of the funny things is I think on the same day, I think he was either the 19th or on the 25th was Kiki D's birthday. The one where he was singing, where he was the duet with on one of his songs. But the man had so many different anthems for so many different decades and so many different years and so many different eras. Not Tony, and it's not Tony Danza, it's Tiny Dancer. And it's definitely Elton John.
Yeah, Elton John's my number 2. I actually thought you might have put him number 1. So, but Elton John, I mean, even when Princess Diana died, he redid
Candle in the Wind.
Yeah, for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you brought up Eminem and him. I mean, what a odd couple to put music together, and like
they're like best friends. Great. And it's weird because they're best friends too now.
Yeah. Who would have thought? So, all right, you're number 1.
Wow. At this point, do we just say she's saying respect in the Blues Brothers? She's the Godfather. She's the Queen of Soul. When she passed away.
Speaking of WrestleMania,
yeah, she was in WrestleMania. She sang the national anthem for WrestleMania 3, I think it was.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Who deserves to be in the Wrestling World or WWE Hall of Fame?
Why is she not? I totally
I'm so shocked that she's not. Yeah. One of the pioneers of everything.
Yeah, the Queen of Soul.
When your voice is the inspiration for other women and girls to sing.
Yep.
It's amazing to understand, and that's Aretha Franklin.
Yep, we're not pulling the Tony Gwynn on this one. She's my number 1. And Aretha Franklin, first name that popped up, first name on my list, and then I saw Elton John. I'm like, oh God, I could get some. We could get into some debates here. So, but yeah, Aretha Franklin, number 1. So, all right, let's move on to today. Today's birthdays. Big shout out to everybody that's born on today. So,
happy birthday for anybody who was born today. We don't know.
Yep, exactly. So, and if you made our list, more power to you. So,
if you made our list, get a hold of us because we would love to have you on our show.
Yeah. So March 28th. So
March 28th,
number 5.
How many of these do you think we've got?
Oh, man.
I'm guessing.
I'll say 2.
I'm guessing 3.
Ooh. Okay.
And I'm going to start off with a Minneapolis, Minnesota boy. But
a lot of people don't know that he's from Minnesota.
Huh?
A lot of people don't know he's from Minnesota.
So he's on your list. So at this point now I'm going with 3. I'm pretty much a sure thing at 3. Sweet. Okay. Most people don't remember him in Rudy.
Yep.
But everybody seems to remember him from Swingers.
Yep.
Wedding Crashers. I actually enjoy this guy. After Swingers, I didn't think I was going to ever really like him. And then I saw him in Fred Claus, Rudy. I'm like, okay, I really like this guy. And then they stuck him with Owen Wilson, and I thought, yeah, this is amazing. So my number 5 is Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, I like the pick.
Oh, you don't have him?
No, I'm not saying I don't have him. My number 5, I kind of clumped these two together. Born on the same day, same year. Well, obviously they're born on the same day. One has an S at the last end of his name, and the other one doesn't. We got James Atkins, who is a country singer. We got Rodney Atkins, James Atkins. He's a metals, I think, singer, rock. And then you got Rodney Atkins, who's a country singer, writer. Both born on the same day.
I don't have it. I'll tell you.
Well, the thing is, it only stuck out because looking at it, I'm like, Atkins. Oh, they're brothers born on the same day. Oh, wait, no, one's in England, one's in the United States. Oh, one has an S, one doesn't. So that's the only reason why I threw him on there at number 5. So you're number 4.
Oh man, this is where it's going to start getting fun. Let's see if my brother can guess it.
All right.
She, that's right, started off with a she, was in American Horror Story. She's only played like 3 roles in American Horror Story. I like her. She's a musical artist. I like some of the stuff she does. She's got very catchy stuff. Known for wearing a meat suit at the Grammys. What else? She's going to be the new Harley Quinn in the Joker's second Joker movie. And I like her stuff. I think she's actually won a Golden Globe. She was in and I like her stuff. Everything she does is another one that seems to touch. She touches that was is gold. I mean, I saw her in the House of Gucci, and I thought she was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And yeah, as you saw, my brother got it right. It's Lady Gaga.
We're 3 for 3 on that one because I got Lady Gaga at number 4. Yeah, she was a wild card when I was looking through the list. I'm like, ooh, this one I could probably slide by and be the only one to get her. But yeah, Lady Gaga. I'm not a huge fan of her, but like you said, it seems like everything she touches gets popular. So, all right, you're.
I'll tell you a little secret. You know who she replaced on my list?
Who?
Utah Jazz former head coach Jerry Sloan.
Oh, I didn't even see him on the list.
Yeah,
I didn't see him on the list. All right, so number 3 we're at.
All right, we're gonna go back in time.
All right.
To last week.
Okay.
My number 1 best supporting actress. Thought how weird it is that it comes full circle to my number 1. And it's the mother from Edward Scissorhands. Won 2 Oscars for best supporting actress, Diane Wiest.
I saw the name and just didn't click on who she was. My number 3 we're at. Actually, got a funny story. I was working at the airport McDonald's, and I'll tell the story for everybody all the time. Got a boss
tell it for everybody. No, everybody, you got to turn the camera off so you can't re-see this.
Yeah, so got a boss who's 6'5", well built, comes walking in and says hi to everybody. All of a sudden, gets to the front and he lets out a big childish scream, like a girl would do when they see like Justin Bieber or something. And I turned around, I'm like, who the heck is he screaming at? And they're like, oh, it's some kind of singing group up there. I'm like, looking and finally see who it was. It was Salt and Pepper was at McDonald's. It was Cheryl James, aka Salt's birthday. So I
saw that one.
Yeah, so that's my number 3. Your number 2.
Much like how I started this day off, March 28th off, with a Minnesota boy. My number 2 is another Minnesota boy.
Ooh.
I'm gonna guess he's in the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm guessing.
Okay.
Was a former Intercontinental Champion in the WWE.
Okay.
A former member of the Four Horsemen. A former member of NWO.
No.
The Tony Gwynn moment of the day.
Oh my God.
I believe he had Rick Rude at one point as his manager.
Yes.
Had Bobby the Brain Heenan at one point as his manager.
How did I miss this one?
The perfect one. Mr. Perfect, Kurt
Oh my God.
Hennig.
Yes, this has to be for a Minnesota guy, big wrestling fan. This honestly is probably bigger than the Tony Gwynn moment.
Yeah.
Wow. I do not know how I missed that one. Oh man. Yeah, Kurt Hennig, that definitely honestly, I if I would have saw that name and that would have been my number one. That's gonna bump my number one off. But my number two is the Minnesota boy that you named earlier, Vince Vaughn.
We have two. No, we have one.
We have two together right now.
Two together right now. Who do we have
Yeah, we got
together?
Lady
Lady
Gaga,
Gaga
Vince
and Vince Vaughn. Lady Gaga and Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, God, this is probably bigger than the Tony Gwynn moment.
No, because I have a bad feeling.
All right.
If you don't have if this is not your number one, I'm going to be sick to my stomach.
All right. Let's go to your number one.
If I were to ask you who your favorite country music female artist is, who would you say?
She's my number one.
Yeah. If you didn't say Reba McEntire, sorry folks, but the show's been canceled. Yeah, to me, it's when I saw Reba McEntire, I'm going, that's number one. If Reba wasn't born on this day, I'm going Kurt Hennig.
Well, that's the sad thing is if Reba's not born on this day, I miss Kurt Hennig. Vince Vaughn's my number one. But no, Reba. I mean, it's one of those. If you watch Friends, they did your top five, if you could, famous people. She's my number one. My wife knows it.
Your hall pass?
Yeah, my hall pass. Yeah, exactly. We went. This is the only time, Minnesota has the big state fair. This is the only concert or the only time at the state fair that I was there from open to close to the state fair because we went and did all the state fair stuff, and then we went to the Reba McEntire concert, and then saw her again at the casino I work at. I got to do some security work, and I was standing pretty much front row for a couple of her songs, just to get a closer view of her. But yeah, Reba McEntire definitely my number one. And I will say this: if I would have saw Kurt Hennig would have been one, Reba would have been two.
Oh no,
it would have been a tough flip flop, but that's what it would have been.
I would have I put it the way that I wanted it. I'm like, I saw Reba. I'm going number one.
Oh yeah, I saw Reba's name first, and that was number one. If I would have saw Kurt Hennig, I would have had toss a turn. Number one. All right, so we got a few minutes left. We're gonna hit our last one. Like we do every month. People that have passed away all of March, not just certain days, but
like we do every month. Somebody's got to die.
Yep. So this one, I will say that we. Tim's shaking his head.
I don't think
we're gonna have at least one right.
I don't think we're getting one. I don't think we're getting one.
Oh, ouch! All right.
Watch this. This is all I have to say. Okay, Ryan, if you're still here, if I say the words "my ding-a-ling," that's my number 5.
Really? He's in March? Okay, so let's go. Number 5.
What is it, Ryan? Come on, I know you know it.
I know it too. For some reason,
he died March 18th, 2017.
Wow.
Come on,
Ryan. I can't think of the name now. I know who you're talking about.
Ryan's like, okay, you put me on the spot.
Yeah. All right.
You can't look it up either. That's cheating.
Yeah. It's
all right. He's taking forever.
Yeah.
He's taking forever. And it's Chuck Berry.
Yeah, Chuck Berry. I don't know why I didn't think of that name. Yeah. My number 5. Like I said, we should have at least one. Depends on what website we go to, because I could get one website to work for me. So I kind of was just throwing out dates there. So, number 5 to me, younger days, I got called this because of my shaved head. And so one year for Halloween, I went and dressed up as this guy for Halloween. And funny thing is this lady comes up to me and said, I was the scariest thing that she's ever seen. And I was like blown away because I dressed up as Uncle Fester. So Jackie Cogan, who was Uncle Fester, died in March. So you're number 4. And Ryan does not remember who you're talking about.
I told you. See, sometimes he doesn't remember things.
Yeah. All right, you're number 4.
The man was, again, as we do on this show, we're gonna say names correctly. This man has been knighted, so that means his name has got a sir in front of it.
Yep, I know who you're talking
He's also,
about. I think I know who you're getting at.
The man is the first person to have discovered gravity. I saw this and I went, okay, March 20th, 1726. Sir Isaac Newton.
Yeah, I saw the name. I figured you being the historian would have had him on there. Number 4 for me, every year I think his name comes up, or every 4 years, his name comes up when the Olympics come around. Good and bad, depending on what view you have of it. But you can't discount his credit. Jesse Owens.
Didn't even see that name.
Well, you might be right then. I think we might be go 0 for 5 in this one. So, number 3.
Number 3. As you know that, as you said, I'm the historian of this group. This man is one of the probably the greatest composers of all time. Left our world March 26th, 1827. So yeah,
a little bit ago.
Big span. to shoot down. It's funny. Partially deaf. The man was deaf and wrote music as a deaf person, which I think is absolutely astonishing that you can do. And that's Ludwig van Beethoven.
Yeah, no, that definitely, like you said, was got to be one of the best talents around to write music and you're deaf. I don't know. Number 3, I believe this person died a few years ago. And I know if I do this to wrestling fans, they're going to know who exactly I'm talking about.
Didn't even see that.
And the thing is he is the creator of the NWO. He's probably, as you're watching TV, the day that he showed up on WCW coming through the crowd, just like me, was just flipping a lid, be like, what the heck is going on here? Because he wrestled for the other company. That's why I said the internet kind of killed this business for shockers. Scott Hall. I mean, what can you say? And I know we did hour and a half long tribute to Scott Hall the day that he passed. We had a bunch of fans on talking about it. So yeah, Scott Hall. Number 2.
Mine died. I'm doing math now, so be patient with me. 54 years ago today.
Ooh, okay.
March 28th, 1969. He was a general in World War II. One of the, I want to say he was a general in the theater that I'm currently living in Europe. General in the Army. I can hear my brother's brain going right now. Who's he talking about? Became president of the United States shortly thereafter World War II. I think he was the president right before Kennedy. Actually, very, very popular amongst popular amongst Americans and people worldwide. Just well liked, and like I said, died 53 years ago today. And that's Dwight Eisenhower.
All right. So I'm back. Eisenhower, yeah, that's a good one.
No, dude. Wrong. Patton was in the Pacific, Ryan.
Oh, Ryan got something wrong. So, all right. My number, we're at 2, right? Yeah, number 2. You guys, we talked about him when we did his birthday. I'm a huge fan of his. I played baseball the way that I thought he would have played. Would have loved to have been a teammate of his. Didn't get a chance to meet him. Still kind of shocked that he's not around anymore. Still remember the moment I turned on the TV and saw that he was in the hospital. And that's number 34, Kirby Puckett. My number 2. A lot of people will be shocked that I didn't put him number 1, but my number 1, I think will speak for themselves. So you're number 1.
Themselves? Holy smokes. Number 1. Lived, again, in the area that I live. Shakespeare had wrote about this ruler and talked about the Ides of March 15th, and said to beware the Ides of March. And he was murdered by his Senate on March 15th, 44 BC. Makes a great salad. Not really. I know that's not where this salad comes from. But never, I've seen busts of this person, and that's Julius Caesar.
Yeah, I saw the name and I was going to throw him on there. But you being the historian, I figured you definitely would have had him on there. My number 1, and I think we can compare this singer to what we talked about Kurt Cobain back. I know we did a Kurt Cobain list or some music list that we did Kurt Cobain in. Died way too soon. I think if memory has it, she was killed by one of her fans, band's president, fan club president, I think.
Yeah.
J-Lo played her in her movie. Again, I think the music industry would be so much different, especially for her culture and stuff. And that's Selena. March 31st, I believe, was the day that she died. So definitely way too young. So
I legitimately thought, I'm like, oh no, who did I miss? Who big did I miss?
Yeah. So
I already missed Kirby Puckett, so don't make me feel worse.
But Puckett's one of those ones that, I mean, yeah, if you're a baseball fan, but there was definitely, a lot of people's list Puckett wouldn't have made it. So I'm not mad. I mean, it was a homer pick for me, so
I missed Puckett. I missed Puckett and Scott Hall. So
Scott Hall was the one I thought we would have hit on. I thought actually Scott Hall and Selena were the 2 I thought we would get.
No, Selena to me didn't hit as much as it did back in the day.
Yeah.
I was shocked, but wasn't.
Yeah, but I think we could kind of, Kurt Cobain and her, I think we kind of put in the same category that their music would be a lot different, if they were around. So with that being said, Tim, we got some final thoughts here.
I like these lists. I do. Thanks for everybody for watching. We've got Between the Ropes tonight.
Yep, Between the Ropes.
You're doing your WrestleMania show, your prediction show. If I'm good enough, I'll send my picks along with Brandon so everybody can see how I screw up. Other than that, I'll be back on Saturday for On Deck with Bacon, with Crispy and Big B at I'm going to say 6 my time, but it's not. It's 11 your time. noon Eastern time. But we also got other great shows. Just keep it tuned here.
Yeah, exactly. Tonight, Between the Ropes, we'll break down Raw, SmackDown, NXT, give our WrestleMania predictions. We might even have a fantasy little topic there on making our best WrestleMania card with WrestleMania matches that have happened, and you can only use the same person once. So it'll be interesting to see what we do with that. So, but yeah, 39 WrestleManias, trying to make a ultimate card out of that. Tomorrow, hopefully we have the Cougar Den, the Women's Professional Football League Sports Minute also tomorrow. And then, yes, we'll definitely have on deck opening days tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Thursday. So definitely tune into that. And like Tim said, keep checking out. Ryan, it was great to have you on. You got to check out more episodes, more shows, and get up there. So with that being said, check us out next week on C2C Rank'em. Have a good one.